Guys, day 48 of the 100 Days of LeetCode. Let's get right to it. We got problem number 978, longest turbulent subarray. Given an integer array, I'm just going to call that array. I'm not a pirate. Return the length of a maximum size turbulent subarray of array. A subarray is turbulent if the comparison sign flips between each adjacent pair of elements in the subarray. More formally, and then it gives you the formal definition. But basically all it means is that we've got a greater than sign, then we got a less than sign, then we got a greater than sign, then a less than sign in between all the elements. And we want to count the amount of elements where that's holding true, right? So if we have another less than sign here, which we actually do, we do not count. We just stop at 5, right? Because there's 5 elements here. So yeah, that's how that works. For this example, it's because we've got what do we got here? Where would the answer be? Yeah, because we just got 2 elements in it, and it would be really any of these situations where we got 2 elements, right? Because we've always got a less than sign here, right? So that's why it's only 2. And what this basically means is that if we have 1 element, we want to return 1. Okay, so how do we solve this? So I'm going to create 3 variables. Greater, lesser, and answer, and they're all going to be 1, 1, and 1. And then we're going to iterate from the second index, the first index, but you know, we start at 0, so I'm just going to say second, to the end of the array. And the reason why I'm doing that is because each time we're going to be checking between I and I minus 1 indexes, right? Indices. So we want to avoid the problem of, you know, having an out of bounds error. So that's why we're starting at the second index. Now, what these variables are up here, this answer variable, of course, is where we're gonna store our answer. So we're gonna update that if we ever find a number that's bigger than what it currently is. What this one is these are going to be 2 variables that we update when we have the appropriate sign in our iteration. So it'll make a little bit more sense when I show you. So we can say if array I is greater than array I minus 1, greater than is equal to lesser plus 1, lesser equals 1. And we're going to say, I'll just write this all out and then I'll explain it. Less than array I minus 1, lesser equals greater plus 1, greater equals 1, and then else lesser greater equals 1 and 1. And one more thing, we are going to update our answer to be the max of lesser greater answer. Of course, return answer. Okay, so let's explain what's going on in this loop. So in this loop, the first thing we do is we check if we have an element that's greater. Well, that means that our subarray is going to be at least 2, okay? And the reason why it's going to be at least 2 is because we have 2 elements here that are part of the subarray, right? So what we want to do is we want to take this greater value, and then we want to take whatever lesser value we had and add 1 to that, okay? Now, if we were in a situation where, you know, these aren't the first 2 indices, or they're not the first 2 indices of the subarray that we're counting, this lesser value is going to be 1 more than the previous greater value. Okay, so that's where we get into the sort of kind of dynamic programming situation where these numbers are sort of just being the answers to sub problems, and we're storing that and going forward. So And then also we want to change our values of lesser and greater, depending on where we are, back to 1. Okay, if we ever when we're in the respective if statements. Now, what this else statement is for when we have values that are equal to each other. Of course, the equal sign is not included anywhere, so what we want to do is we want to set lesser and greater both back equal to be 1. Okay, so let's submit this code. There you go. So that's how we solve that one. Again, we just take these 3 variables that we create and we just use them and we update them when necessary. And we got our answer by selecting the max of the 3 of them at the end of each iteration. And then we simply return our answer. So that's how we solve that one. If you guys enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. We got another, 52 days left of this 100 Days of LeetCode. See you tomorrow.